Hi, your second lesson is going to be about note values. And this is something everybody needs to know. I'm going to start off with the basics and I'm actually going to go right to the grade 5 theory about note values. So I think that my grade 1 students can probably listen and try and see if they understand it. If not, then take note that they only need to know the first part of it, and I'll tell you when that ends. First things first, we're going to look at the one count note. Now, do you remember that one's name? It is called a crotchet, and it's spelt like that. And then from there, we're going to look at what two of them make. Two of them make a minim. You can write all of these down. Press pause if I'm going too fast. What do three of them make? If you add a dot to it, what that dot does is it takes half the value of what that used to be. What was that? That was a 2. And half of 2 is 1. So it's 2 plus 1, half of its value. And that makes a 3 count note, which we call a dotted minim. And then we end off with 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 count note there. We call it a semi-breve. Now I just want you to take note of one word here. Should I say part of a word? Semi. Later on, you're going to learn what semi means and why this is called a semi-breve. So that is what my students all the way up to grade 1 should know, and perhaps the next little section, which I'm going to do in my favorite color. And that is that you can split 1 into smaller bits, just as you would an apple. You can split it into 2. And those guys we call quavers. So we have 2 quavers. We can also split those into half. And we would end up with those 2 guys for 1. And another 2 of them for the other quaver. So we're ending up with 4 semi-quavers. And here is where I'm going to tell you, what does semi mean? Have you heard of the prefix semi before? Prefix is the little word that comes before a word to make it different. We've got quavers, we've got semi-quavers. That is a prefix. So semi, in the same way as semicircle, means a half of a circle. There's a semicircle. There's the other half of the circle. It's a wonky circle, never mind. Semi means half. What do you think a semi-breve is a half of? It's worth 4. There we go. I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to keep you in suspense. And while I'm here, I'm just going to keep writing. We had a 3 count note there, a 2 count note there. That was our 1 count note there. Here is our half count note, a quaver. What does it look like when it's on its own, by the way, if it hasn't got its little buddy holding hands with it? It also looks like that. What do my semi-quavers look like when they're sitting on their own and they don't have their buddy? They've got 2 little limp hanging hands. Oh, my friend won't hold my hand. And when they're together, they hold hands and form a nice bar across the top like that. Or 2 bars for semiquavers. Did you know we can go smaller than that? Okay, now we're going beyond grade 4 theory level. If my pupils are understanding this, then stick with me. If not, rather press stop now. But let's have a look at what happens with each of these. That and its buddy have 3 stripes, and it makes one of those. That and its buddy, 1, 2, 3, wing, wing. That one as well, 1, 2, 3. And the last one, 1, 2, 3. So here's a question for you. Firstly, what is its name? How do we get smaller than semi? Is it a semi-semiquaver? Almost. Demi. Semi. Quaver. Demi-semiquavers. And this little one standing on its own is going to look like this. Ding. With that, 1, 2, 3 little limp hanging hands. How many demi-semiquavers are in a crotchet? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 demi-semiquavers in a crotchet. Now we can go further than this. You can. I'm going to turn this just into singles now at the moment. You can get 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these little limp hands, as I call them. Sorry. And that is called a hemi, demi, semi, quaver. And yes, it does go further than that. I call anything beyond that a very hemi, demi, semi, quaver. But if you want to know the answer is we go back to semi. You don't need to know this, but this is just for anybody who does want to know. If you're curious, we get a semi, hemi, demi, semi, quaver. Then we get a semi, demi, hemi, demi, semi. Then we get a hemi, demi. No, a semi, demi, hemi, semi, demi, hemi, quaver. It's just, yeah. We'll stop there.